And that was terrible because the whole time I was sleeping, I was sitting there dreaming of mowing. There's nothing worse. It's torture. It's bloody torture. All you do is mow lawns all day and do gardening jobs, and then you dream of it. There's no escape.
Cool. So, hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Jim's Group podcast and the More Than Just Mowing podcast, which is the Jim's Mowing podcast as well. And we thought we'd try something a bit different. So, we're going to do an interview with you anyway, but rather than doing it via Zoom or remote, we had you during our training week, which is on a Tuesday. You do a session. And I thought we might as well grab you because everyone knows you from our videos, which we've done. So, there's no point rehashing over your introduction and your story. But do you want to just touch on with first a bit about, for those who don't know and who are listening, Dan Cahill's story. You can check it on YouTube. But where are you at this moment in 2023? Because people will remember you from back in 3 to 4 years ago when you were on that Ask Jim.
Yep.
In there with your story, just come working the Maccas to doing this. And it's been a pretty amazing journey in the last 4 years. So maybe you want to just touch on a bit about where you are currently at the moment.
Yeah, okay. So I became a franchisor a bit less than 2 years ago. And I took on my first region, which was South Queensland. Had about 52 franchisees that I was looking after. And basically my role was, well, I was very good at building a mowing business and I knew how to mow a lot of lawns. So then I was just there to teach people how to mow a lot of lawns as well and make sure everyone could make a lot of money and help bring on new people and teach them how to mow lawns and how to mow a lot of lawns. So since then, I've been able to buy on 4 other regions. So I've got 5 regions now, covering through Queensland South, Queensland North, Northern Territory, regional New South Wales, out Dubbo and Orange and Bathurst and that, and then also down southern coast of New South Wales, down Eden and Bateman's Bay and Nowra and that. Yeah.
So you got 5 regions now. So how do you manage the regions? How does it all work?
I became pretty busy looking after the amount of franchisees I have. I have 163 franchisees now, and I went, right, well, what do people actually need from me? Well, they need me to help them learn how to grow a business and bring work in and support them. So I went, well, I'm good at doing that because I've got experience in doing it. I've done it before. So I went, all right, I'm going to hire another bloke, made sure they had at least 10 years experience. So I hired Pat, who's from Brisbane, and he helps look after about 100 franchisees there in Brisbane, Toowoomba and Ipswich. And because he's got 10 years experience, he knows how to build a business, but he did it differently to me. He did body corporate jobs and NDIS work, a lot of that. So he built his business from that, and he calls all the franchisees every single week without fail and offers them support and helps them grow their businesses. And he does a great job of it. And then that worked out bloody well. And I had a lot of franchisees making a lot of money. You'll probably see the videos online of some guys that are earning, $350,000 plus in their first 12 months.
You see all the comments.
There's a lot of comments about it.
We're going to talk about it in a minute, yeah.
But and then I hired Don, who's another regional manager. He's up in Cairns and he looks after franchisees in New South Wales because he grew up there. So he looks after the regional New South Wales, Southern Coast New South Wales, Northern Territory, and Northern Queensland. So he looks after about 63 there, and he does a ripper job of it.
So that's Pat Haggerty and that's Don Handybay?
That's correct, yeah.
Jeez, I'm good with names. I know who it was. But I was going to say as well, you alluded to something before, and I want to title this episode Most Controversial Men in Gyms because there are sometimes controversials, and your videos, when we put them online back in the early days, was all about statement about earnings, and you had the comment section blowing up with generally people saying that's BS or doing the cap or...
People didn't think it was true.
Well, they did, and a lot of the guys who were in the comments, I take it, were independents or blokes or girls trying to do it themselves, and it was basically, once they seen that, they just say BS, right?
Yep.
So what I wanted to just ask you a bit about is, first of all, about when you make those statements about earnings, which is obviously, we've got to put a disclaimer on, do your own research and all that sort of stuff. But why do you think there's so much skepticism with that sort of stuff?
I think a lot of people have tall poppy syndrome. Some people don't want to feel like other people can do a better job of them, especially if they're already doing it themselves. And then some people literally, when they look at like the lawn mowing industry, they honestly think that, we work for $25 an hour.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't have a lot of respect. They don't think, lawn mowing guys can earn more than lawyers or doctors. So there's a bit of skepticism with that, but you got to remember that this is our business. So we're running the business and creating demand just as much as any other business is. I think that's a lot of what it is. But those videos that I put out, of course they're going to be controversial. I'm sitting there saying, hey, I'm making over 20 grand a week. Of course, and it brings clicks.
How did you deal with the comments? Because I remember if I was reading the comments, they were pretty brutal, some of them. But you responded to a few people, which I thought was good because I
did respond to a few people. I had to do it being, politically correct. I didn't want to. I definitely didn't want to. I actually, Yeah, I would have liked to have seen them face to face and had a private, lovely conversation with them. Some of them, say did personal attacks on me.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them first. Especially.
But the point I'm trying to make here is like when you went back to them about how you could do it, they never generally came back with anything further. Which is
No, of course not.
See someone claiming they're making this, completely shoot it down without doing any research or calling franchisees in the area, and then just making that assumption because they're doing it, no one else can do it better than what I'm doing it.
Well, that's exactly it. But a lot of them people, they're keyboard warriors. A lot of them are keyboard warriors that, they would have no idea what it is to work that hard and to put yourself through that much stress.
Yeah.
And I did what I did because I needed to. I needed to put food on the table for my family, and I needed to pay to keep a roof over my head. I was in a terrible financial position, and I had a little one and another one on the way. We were working at Macca's earning, next to nothing. And I needed to do whatever it took to get my family in a better position. And I did it. And I sacrificed a good chunk of my life doing it. And a lot of people don't realize that. They go, oh, you sacrificed it. But they don't realize that I was working 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, mowing lawns non-stop as hard as I could, as fast as I could. And then I'd come home absolutely wrecked, couldn't even walk in the door. My wife would have to carry me out of the car. I'd be over her shoulders like this. She'd be walking me into the door, put me in an Epsom salt bath so I could relax, feed me, and then I'd go straight to sleep and try and get, 8 to 10 hours of sleep just to recover my body. And that was terrible because the whole time I was sleeping, I was sitting there dreaming of mowing. There's nothing worse. It's torture. It's bloody torture. All you do is mow lawns all day and do gardening jobs, and then you dream of it. There's no escape. They don't understand what it takes to do that. There's going to be some people in the comment section on this video that understand what that's like and have put that much time and commitment into it because they need to, because their family needs it. And they understand. I bet you they've dreamt about it as well. But then there'll be other people that have no understanding and want everything handed to them on a silver platter.
Because we're going to do some videos of you soon with doing some mows in your community and stuff as well. And because I reckon it'd be great to see you work, because I've seen you work a little bit and you go bloody hard and you go quick.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're doing. Like, it's very quick and very hard and methodical, and you're very, very quick at what you do and you're good at what you do.
Yep.
So I don't think people realise that. They might just hear, turning all this money over, you just sit in the office and distribute work and stuff. But back in the day, you were out there every day building that system, doing the quality control.
Anyone that watches my videos, you'll know that I used to build my own mowers, and I'd build these really bloody high horsepower mowers with huge engines on them that really shouldn't have been on those mowers. And I'd literally run mowing lawns. And they were still great quality. Every single job needed to be perfect quality so I could get, word of mouth and referrals from it. But I was a bloody hard worker. Not these days. I've put on a bit since then, but that's all right.
So my question to you then is, a common question that sometimes might come up is, you're making this great money from doing what you're doing. You got a team, you got all this money coming in revenue-wise. Why did you then want to go to be a franchisor? So if people listening or watching, franchisor owns a region and you got the right to sell franchise in it, you support franchisees.
Yes.
You're changing your role a bit. So why did you want to do that?
Well, when I was running that business, it took a lot of time and a lot of responsibility. And that's time and responsibility that was put on me that took time away from me spending time with my daughters. And my two daughters are the most important thing, and my wife, the most important thing in the world to me. And I sacrificed that part of their childhood while they were growing up just so I could put my family in a better position. And I went, all right, I want to spend time with them now, but I want to still work. And then the opportunity of a franchisor arose, and that meant that I could work from home, which I can still work all the time, but at least I'm doing it from home so I can still see them every day. I drive them to school every morning, and I pick them up from school every night. I'll spend time with them. And that's why I did it. So yeah, I took a huge pay cut becoming a franchisor. I've only just started getting back to the level of income that I was earning when I was a franchisee now. And I've got 163 franchisees now. But yeah, it was just so I could spend more time with my family is the reason I did it. And since I've been doing it, I've found a new passion, a new love in it, because I find that I'm helping out a lot of struggling Aussie families that actually, we're going through a really bloody tough time at the moment. No one really talks about it, but I speak with thousands of people all the time that are inquiring about buying a business or have any interest about buying a business. And I speak to them over the phone, and this is the stuff that you don't hear. We're in a really tough position. There's a lot of people out there that are homeless right now that can't afford to pay their rent. And their rent is, because there's so much demand for it, their rent's sky high. And they're making these huge sacrifices. And all they're trying to do is what I did, and put food on the table for their family and keep a roof over their head. And for me, that's the thing that goes, you know what, I'm going to do whatever I can to help out these Aussie battlers.
So with the people who inquire, so you're a franchisor, you're responsible for selling franchises, and people inquire about it. What are the things that you normally tell them, or what are the questions you're normally getting from prospects about it? What are some things that people should actually probably know before buying a Jim's Mowing franchise?
It's going to be bloody hard. If you want to do well in this, it's going to be hard. Yeah. It's not easy. If you want to take the easier route, go for it. And you'll do mediocre, or you'll do quite poor actually if you want to sit at home and watch Netflix and I've got a business. Look at me, I'm a business owner. But if you really want to do well out of this, you want to take care of your family, you want to take care of yourself, you want to build something for yourself, you put everything you've got into this. Absolutely everything. You market like crazy, you work like crazy. 7 days a week if you have to. If you don't want to do 7 days a week, do 5 days a week. Maybe some of you guys aren't as crazy as what I was. But it's going to be bloody hard work. If you're the sort of person that puts the effort in and is going to market your own business and put your time in, then of course you're going to succeed in it. But if you're going to rely on just the system, then good luck, because you're the sort of person that just expects things handed to you.
Now with the training, we're doing the training now. You teach a session on Tuesday, so maybe you want to tell people in our gym's training, which is a really good course. And I think for me, talking to other people here, I've spoken to a few people today who actually used to work in franchise. A guy worked in franchise in America, and another one actually did it. And they're saying, oh, okay, well, how's the training compare? And they always say this training's because we don't know how good this training is here. So maybe, what session do you take, and what are some of the things you take the new prospects in training?
So I teach how to build a business. So I teach that to all the franchisees from all divisions on how to build a business. And during it, I talk about building rounds, so mowing rounds or cleaning rounds or dog wash rounds or whatever it is. And I talk very heavily on marketing. And I do that because people need to know that when you're buying a business, it doesn't matter if you join a good franchise or not. If you're going to be buying a business, you need to market. You need to do everything it takes to be able to build this. Build your business as if you're an independent, and then you've got the added bonus of being with, a huge franchise that's going to offer you support and work as well. That's an extra bonus. That's not the core. You should be focusing on trying to build this business yourself as any independent would. But a lot of people don't really get that. They come in and they go, no, I'm just going to expect everything to happen for me, and I'm going to charge over the roof, and I'm going to do a terrible job and cut corners. And they're the ones that always fail first.
Yeah.
So
when you find someone doing that, well, then how do you get them out of that mindset, or is there just something where how do you stop that sort of thing? Maybe the better question is actually, to you, being a franchisor, who are the people that succeed, and what are the actual traits that?
The people that succeed are the people that need to, in my opinion. The people that have a reason to. The people that go, oh, you know what, I want to take it easy, and look, you can do that, and you'll be mediocre, and that's fine. If that's what you want, go for it. But the people that do really well are the Aussie battlers, the ones that are struggling, the ones that actually have an understanding of the value of a dollar. A lot of people don't understand what the value of a dollar is. Honestly, I speak to people all day, every day. It drives me absolutely insane. But those people, those Aussie blokes that are going, geez, I really wish that I could buy a 79 series one day, or a Maloo, but it'll never happen for me. Or, maybe they just want to have a barbecue at their place every now and then, but they can't even afford to buy meat for the barbecue and have guests over. Those people there that actually properly understand, and they're struggling to pay their bills and their rent and everything, they're the ones that do really bloody well in these sorts of businesses, because no one's ever given them the opportunity before. They work in their 40-hour weeks. They're lucky to get overtime if they get it, but then that goes straight on bills and Christmas presents and all the rest of it. But the people that get the opportunity to make as much as they want when you're in a position like this, and that's the thing with this. I learned that early. The more lawns you mow, the more you make. You want to make a lot of money, you mow a lot of lawns. That's, for me, in my life, I understand that to be the secret of success for me. That's all I know. If I want to make money, I go and mow a lot of lawns.
And with your franchisees currently, who are the franchisees doing well, and is there something they're doing differently, or what have you noticed about those guys?
Well, my franchisees, obviously, the benefit is, I believe, is that they're learning from me, and they're learning from Pat and Don, who obviously have quite a lot of experience. They're learning from each other. When I bring on franchisees, I actually reject quite a fair few franchisees that try and inquire with me, because I believe when I'm bringing people on, I want to bring on people that show a lot of respect from the very get-go, that don't expect things handed to them. Where the people that, the sort of people that go, they treat you with disrespect until you earn their respect. I can't stand those sorts of people.
Oh, really? Right. So you have prospects who come in with that sort of mindset?
People that come in with that sort of mindset, that don't treat with respect from the very start, I don't want them. That's red flags.
Wow.
But if they treat me with respect from the very start, they're genuinely interested, then I'll give them a go. But I genuinely believe there's people that are born with respect and respect people until that person loses their respect. And then there's people that go, you know what, I'm going to treat everyone terrible until they earn my respect. I can't stand those sorts of people. I think there's a lot of arrogance.
Quiet actually when they did it from the get-go for that.
Oh, absolutely. There's people that really do speak down to you from the very start. Anyone that does that with me, see you later. You're not joining my team. No way in hell. But the people that give me respect from the very start, I'll show them the world. I'll do whatever it takes for them.
That's a great point you mentioned, because people just think, oh, we'll take anyone being a franchisee, which a lot of other franchise brands do, but we're pretty strict, and you guys got to work with these people, right? So if you're not going to get a good feeling from day one, they're not entitled to a franchise.
Well,
they earn it through dealing with you. And
yeah, well, that's it. It's my business. The region is my business. That's like my mowing business that I had. This is something that I'm growing. All these franchisees I'm bringing on, they're part of my business that I'm growing, and I'm helping them out. And if I'm working with people, I want to make sure that they're the sort of people that I can get along with. The sort of people that maybe they come down to the pub and have a beer, or they come and have a barbie, or they're happy to talk with me about general chit chat. Those sorts of people, not the sort of people that are. Look, I don't want to use this wrong sort of terminology, but the Richard heads out there. Can we call them that?
Yeah.
Absolutely, cool. So, and if I get those red flags, I go, no, mate, get stuffed. I'm not letting you in, and they'll crack it. And they'll actually email Jim, and they'll say, blah, he's not allowing me to buy a business.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow.
But I'm not. Why would I give them that opportunity? If I'm bringing people in, it's going to create a positive culture, and they're going to help one another out. That's what it's all about.
Exactly, and you're also protecting customer service, because if they're going to be like with you from the start, imagine what they're going to be like with customers, or if they have an issue with the customer, you can imagine only what they're going to do. But we do say we select the best, and that's something we try and do. But I was going to say as well, with yourself, you're obviously really well known now in the industry and stuff online. So how's that been with your fame regarding that now, being out there a lot and being in those groups and stuff?
Yeah, it's not bad. There was a bit of controversy. A few people had a few issues with me.
Yeah.
Some people attacked my bottom row of teeth. That was nasty. That was. But
you can always look at their profile picture.
that's exactly it, mate. But no, look. From that, I was able to do a few videos so people got to know me a bit more, which was good. But I suppose it just sort of comes with it. Some people are always going to be a little bit jealous and always have that tall poppy syndrome, I suppose. But there's been especially a lot of the independent contractors have had my back recently. And
really?
yeah, absolutely.
It's great.
And it's got my name out there, and I suppose I've been able to, I suppose people have built up trust with me a little bit.
Well, I think for us, we obviously have a lot longer content with you available for people to watch, but it's the short stuff they see and they instantly react to it. And I think what you said at the start's really good. If you're an independent guy and you hear this guy saying, hey, he's making triple what you're making or whatever, you instantly don't want to say, oh, geez, how can I improve? You want to cut that person down.
Well, you should want to learn from them.
Yeah.
I'm no competition to them. I don't live their life. I don't affect their life in the slightest.
Yeah.
But if I found someone that's doing so much better than me, I'd go, well, it makes sense, common sense, to go and ask them what they're doing so I can do that for my family.
Yeah.
So I can put more food on the table for my kids.
I think as well that not only I can ask you, but as a franchisor, you can give them the list to all the franchisees in the region, former and finish, and they can call them as well, and they can do that. I met a few people in training as well who went in and called 10 franchisees and some X1s as well, which is great to hear, and they're still in training, which is pretty good credit.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you find being, you're well known in gyms now as well, so how do you find, does it help you, because you've got a lot of video content, which we've done a long time, is that helping you convert sales, you think? Especially people who watch your stuff?
I think so. I think it does. I also think the fact that we've got such a great brand behind us helps out as well. We're such a well-known, recognised Australian brand. For me, we're right up there with Vegemite and VB, in my opinion. It doesn't get any better than Jim's Mowing for me. The colour of our bloody company is green and yellow. So I think that helps out a lot. No, truthfully, I think it's a lot with the brand. People watch my videos and they go, I want Dan to be the person to mentor me.
Yeah.
Which definitely does help out as well. A lot of the people that speak to me, I go, well, what is it that you actually want in your life? What do you want? Some people want to go buy that new clubby. And I go, well, if you want that, hey, you've got to figure out how many lawns you're going to mow. That's the secret to success.
Yeah.
You want nice things, you mow a lot of lawns.
I was going to say that as well. Even though we're interviewing you, I'm hoping to interview all the franchisors in the group, because I think it's really important that if they can see and hear your stories, not just yours, but other ones as well, that you start from here and look where you are, that it's achievable. I think that's the key to us, is that most people, if they follow the system and they come in to listen to the franchisor, whether yourself or someone else, they can do these things and get themselves out of the proverbial SHIT sometimes financially really quickly if they do.
Absolutely. If you put the work in, it's there. Yeah. I'm very grateful that I've been able to take on the regions I have. I've met a lot of really cool Australian people. I've travelled through northern Queensland, Mackay, Townsville, Cairns. I've gone over Northern Territory, Katherine and Darwin. I've been able to go through regional New South Wales. A lot of these people, a lot of people in Australia are battling right now. They're really, really struggling. And I like to know that there's people out there that I can really help. And that's what it's all about. My businesses that I sell are probably a bit cheaper than what most other franchisors are. but I'm okay with that. I mean, if I know that I have the opportunity to help someone out, I'm going to go for it. But no, I've been very lucky in this position where I can help people out. I can still make a good living for myself, and I want to take on as much of Australia as I possibly can. As I said, I've taken on a lot already. But
because I know a few of your franchisees emailed Jim directly saying, because we've got a few I'm interviewing on the podcast, and it's amazing to see after 3 months or 2 months just how they progress with their money earnings in particular.
Yep.
But they always say the same thing. They've always raved about support and all that sort of stuff, and they email Jim these massive emails telling him all these sorts of things. Must make you feel good.
It does. It definitely does. I've got stories of guys. I mean, I've got one guy that's just been in for 7 weeks and he's making $6,000 this week. I mean, I'm sure you'll have to do a podcast with him. Mitch Blake.
I've already
Dubbo.
booked him in. Yeah, I've always had him come in. Yeah.
So that's just one guy. I've got several of them now, but I sit there and I push them hard because I go, all right, this is my experience. I'm going to show you what I did. And then if you say, oh, I can't possibly do it, it's not possible, I go, well, yes, it is, because I've actually done it. I've been there, and this is exactly how you do it. If you want it bad enough, you'll go and get it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And look, the reason I want to do a follow-up with you is because we've obviously got a lot of stuff on the channel, and those videos we shared still get comments. I still get comments on a video from a year ago, like a little short reel in the office and stuff, on the earnings videos and stuff. I just wanted to clear it up because the journey you came from 29, 8, when did you start 2018?
2018, yeah.
I remember because you had your Arse Gym, which was in 2019.
Yeah.
And then to go from where you are when you're 26, I think you're 26 then, to where you are now, it's quite an amazing thing and shows people what possible just by getting your foot in the door for franchise to where you can go in gyms.
I've fixed my whole family's life. I've changed the
a short time.
Exactly, in a very short time. Like I honestly didn't think I was meant for much. I really didn't think I was meant for much in this life, and I've been able to. I'm quite proud of myself. I'm proud of what I've been able to do. What my wife and I have done, and I think a lot of people, like, they'd be really surprised at what they could do. A lot of people have no idea of what they're capable of, and they're going to sit there constantly wondering. And I reckon, honestly, just have a decent crack at it. Go for it. Get yourself into an opportunity where you can make as much as you like, and it's all completely down to what you do.
Yeah, perfect. And we'll end on that. But I was going to say, if people want to reach out to you and stuff, where can they contact you via? What's your social media handles, or where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, if you just look up Dan Cahill on either Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or my email address is dan.cahill@jimsmowing.net. You can reach me there as well. I don't think it's a good thing to put my mobile number out there.
No.
Get a few prank calls.
But I'm just saying, because I know that people do message you randomly out of the blue, about advice and looking into gyms and stuff because they see your videos. So
a lot of people get in contact with me from another way is my LinkedIn. So I help out a lot of people from all around Australia, even some people from New Zealand as well. They call me and I help out. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And they want my advice before they decide to buy. So I'm happy to anyone that wants to give me a call. Why not? I mean, I'm literally here to help you guys out as much as I possibly can.
Well, good, man. Well, we get a few questions and comments about you, so it's good to do a follow-up, and hopefully in another year's time or when we do this again, who knows what you'll have. So it'll be great to see you do a follow-up with everyone.
No worries, mate.
Appreciate it, guys. Make sure if you like the episode, leave a review and subscribe to the podcast. Jim's Group Podcast and More Than Just Mowing Podcast. If you do want to be on it and you're a franchisee, check the details below and send us a message. We'd love to have you on as well.